detox is a lifestyle. It's not just something you do because it's the spring.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Elizabeth, and I am thrilled to be joined today by Joy McCarthy. She's a holistic nutritionist, best-selling author, and also the founder of JoyousHealth.com, which, Joy, is a beautiful website. I was cruising around on it for the last couple of days. I've website envy. It is so beautiful. So everyone check that website out. It's gorgeous. So thanks, Joy, for joining me.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
You have some events coming up in British Columbia at Nature's Fair Markets, but we'll tell people about that later. Let's start by diving into who you are for people who don't know a little bit more about you. How did you get on this holistic nutrition journey?
Yeah, so it was probably about almost 2 decades ago now, because I'm almost 40. So in my late teens, early 20s, I suffered from a lot of health issues. I had hormonal imbalance, I had anxiety, I had massive digestive problems, and I went for many years. I visited many specialists and kind of did the Western medical route, and I wasn't getting anywhere other than sicker. And at one point I had like half the amount of hair on my head, and every doctor would tell me the same thing, that it was just hormonal imbalance. I could try the birth control pill, I could try different hormone treatments. So it wasn't until I literally came to a fork in the road and decided enough is enough. I don't want to take any more prescription drugs anymore. I'm just so sick of feeling like crap all the time and always feeling bloated or constipated and suffering from anxiety. It just seemed like I had so many health issues, yet I considered myself to be a health nut. My whole life, I've always been the one that my friends called the health nut, but yet I had all these health issues. So when I came to this fork in the road, I decided that I was not going to take any more prescription drugs anymore, and I was going to address my health from a more holistic perspective. And what I did was simply just do my own research. This was before I was a nutritionist, by the way, but I became my own nutritionist, essentially. I just did tons of research. I tried a lot of different things. And probably within about 6 months of being on this new path, I started to notice changes, like my hair. My digestive problems completely cleared up. My anxiety completely vanished. So I went back to my doctor, had all the blood work done, and he said, yes, your hormones are completely balanced. And he was dumbfounded with how is this even possible? Because my doctor was great. He had been helping me for many years, sending me to many specialists, really trying to help me figure out what was going on. But it wasn't until I kind of took the responsibility for my health in my own hands that my health was actually able to transform. And then a few years later, this inspired me to actually go back to school, because I thought, you know what, if I, have been suffering from these health issues for so long, there's got to be other people who are suffering from these same health issues and going down the same path I've been going down. I've got to help people. So that inspired me to go back to school and study holistic nutrition. And here I am today. So I graduated in 2009 and still going strong and loving what I'm doing as a nutritionist.
And you haven't looked back. It's wonderful. And your journey really echoes so many people's journeys of having something in themselves. And so many of us, too, who are in the health and wellness field. I'm just like you, health nut, but I've also had health things that I've had to figure out on my own. And it always comes back to nutrition. So hearing that you improved your hormonal condition, your hair, everything just based on nutrition, that's so inspiring for all of our listeners.
Yeah, and lifestyle. Lifestyle was a huge part of it too. I was I loved exercise. I've always loved fitness. And one of the other changes I made was, instead of doing all these races and running, I was so motivated. I would get up every day at 5:30 in the morning, even when it was minus 25, and I would go run. And that was something else that I actually slowly gave up, was my intense fitness regime. And I actually, instead of that, I started doing more things like yoga. And I know that was also really part of my healing journey. So lifestyle was a huge factor in it as well.
Yeah, it all factors in. When you start making better choices with food, suddenly you have the energy to go to yoga and vice versa. Yeah. And then you discovered detoxing somewhere along the way. And this is a buzzword in the holistic health community and nutrition. Tell us more about detoxing and how that's affected your health and how you've seen it affect other people.
For sure. So, I mean, a huge part of my healing journey was just detoxing as well, because I didn't know that, like, for example, all the products I was using on my body were full of parabens and phthalates and formaldehyde releasing chemicals. And also, when I had all these health issues, I really didn't understand organics. It wasn't like back in the 90s, like mid to late 90s, it wasn't like you could go to a regular grocery store and there'd be a huge organic section. So I didn't really know at the time how pesticides were impacting my health, impacting my hormones. So part of my huge part of my healing journey, was doing my own detox and, detoxing these excess hormones that were impacting my health and well-being. So detox was a huge part of my healing journey. And, over the years, working with like thousands of people, that's kind of the place I always start. And when I say detox, I don't mean, a lot of people think it kind of conjures up images. People think of like deprivation and dieting and feeling awful and tired. But as a nutritionist, I really recommend, and my philosophy is all about a lifestyle. And detox is a lifestyle. It's not just something you do because it's the spring, or something you do because you've had a weekend indulgence, then you end up doing, a 3-day juice fast. That's not the kind of detox I'm talking about. I'm talking about eating whole foods every day that have that have vitamins and minerals that act as cofactors, say for your liver to better detox in phase 1 and 2. So eating foods every day that help you better detox, because we're detoxing all the time. We don't just detox in the spring, right? We detox every second of every day. So it's really important to support the body's detox pathways, so that our body can, perform more efficiently, so that our body can rid itself of excess hormones. Like a sign of, a need to support your liver is PMS, because excess estrogen in the body, your liver helps to break it down, and the excess estrogen is eliminated when you have a bowel movement. So detox, no matter who you are. Like lots of people say, oh, I don't want to do a detox. Well, I'm sorry, but you're actually detoxing every second of every day. So why not add foods, add habits that help you better detox, and take a break from the habits and the foods that are congesting your liver, that are slowing down detoxification. And detox is really just as simple as that. Take a break from the bad stuff, add more good stuff in. Focus more on the good stuff.
I love that you say it in that way, because you're right. People think of detox as this scary thing where you have to starve yourself or drink horrible concoctions. And you say it in a supportive way, that it's something we can support our bodies to do daily. And that's probably why so many people enjoy working with you, because we want to be healthy, but we want it to also feel good.
Yes, and taste good. Like that's why like all the recipes, I have hundreds of recipes on my blog. And as you know, I have 2 books. And that's one thing that's always been really important to me, is that the recipes should taste good and they should be easy to make. Otherwise, you're not going to be committed to it. Then it really is going to feel like a detox. I have a 10-day detox in my second book, Joyous Detox, but that's really because 10 days is a short amount of time for you to realize how much better you can feel. Most people don't know how good the body is designed to feel. And when they make some moderate changes, they start to notice very quickly how good they can feel. And, over the years, I've had so many people who have done, so before my book came out, I used to actually have an ebook, and I ran an online program called the Joyous 10-Day Detox. I actually had over 40,000 people do this detox, which is now my book. And the interesting thing was the number of times I would get an email from someone saying to me, hey, Joy, just wanted to reach out, tell you how good I'm feeling, and ask you if I can continue to eat this way. Can I continue on this detox path? And I was always like, at first when I got this question, I was like, that's kind of a weird question. And then I thought, that's an awesome question. Because that means people are, really benefiting from it and, wanting to incorporate it into their lifestyle, which makes me really happy.
Absolutely. It's so popular to do the 12-day or the 10-day or the 2-week or the 30-day, but to incorporate this right into our lives in a way that we're doing it all the time, like that's the ultimate goal, is that people are living healthier, eating healthier. Yeah. And so you have this awesome talk, 3 of them coming up at Nature's Fair markets across British Columbia, and you're going to talk specifically about detoxing, and you're going to give your 10 detox strategies to people in that talk. You want to tell us a little bit more about the talk itself?
Yeah, totally. So, in the first part of my talk, I discuss why we need to detox, like what are the things that lead to a toxic body? Everything from pesticides to stress, to sugar, so the foods we're eating and the lifestyle that many North Americans are living. So I kind of set it up like, here's why we need to detox. And then the second half of my presentation is all my detox rituals that I recommend, everything from dry skin brushing to detox baths. And then I always finish my presentation with more sort of like a lifestyle sort of wrap up. So I talk about the power of affirmations. I talk about doing a digital detox. And yeah, hopefully I haven't just given it all away, but I'm talking over an hour. So there's so much information that I'm going to be sharing, but it's I think it's a really great talk because for someone, whether you've done many detoxes, you're like super health nut like yourself, or something that's totally new, I find that people always get something out of it. And, if people are inspired, then I know I've done my job.
Yeah, it's a great thing to get inspired by going to a live event. We see so much online, so it's a great thing to do it live with somebody who you can like look you in the eyes and ask you questions, and also to get inspired. This time of year, everybody's like, oh, it's spring. Let's cleanse my body out and get ready for summer. So this is perfect.
Yeah, and it is a great time. Yeah, it is a really good time of year to think about detoxing and cleansing because we just naturally want to eat lighter, right? As soon as, the days are longer, the farmers markets start to fill up with abundance. There's more plant foods that are in season. It's just really the perfect time. But as I mentioned, I recommend that people eat detox-friendly foods all throughout the year so that they don't feel by the time the spring comes, they don't feel like, they've gained an extra 5 to 7 pounds over the winter. That totally used to be me. Like every winter, I would, probably closer to 10 pounds. I gain like 5 to 10 pounds every winter. And this is another thing I talk about in my presentation is the fact that I used to be a total sugar addict. Before I was a nutritionist, when I was working in marketing, and just totally addicted to and I was eating like really crappy sugar too, like M&Ms, peanut M&Ms were like my vice. Yeah, it's funny to even think nowadays that I ate that. And people always ask me, oh, what's the one bad cheap food you have? Like, what's the one bad thing you eat? And I honestly don't eat those kinds of foods because they make me feel so terrible. And I really I don't crave them. So, and, many people say to me, oh, Joy, I feel like I could never live without, I couldn't ban McDonald's for the rest of my life. Or, I couldn't ban having I just couldn't live without certain kinds of chocolate and candy. And when you clean up your body, and you eat, you change how you eat, change how you think, change your lifestyle, you really don't have cravings for those types of things. So people are really floored when they realize that they do actually lose their cravings for those very acidic foods and very processed foods.
Yeah, and there's hope in that, everyone, because those sugar addictions are very strong. So knowing that you can get rid of them, not by going cold turkey, but at just some point you just won't feel like it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is a lot of people think that they have to completely eliminate the sweet taste. They think if they do a sugar detox, then that means they can never have something that's sweet again. And I actually really disagree with that. I think actually that every meal and snack, we should have all of the tastes because it will actually prevent us from craving the things that we're missing. So this is why, for example, if I am making a big salad, I'll often add some raisins or cranberries, or if I'm making a slaw, I'll chop up apple to have that sweet flavor because sweet is very emotionally comforting too. And there's nothing wrong with having food be a source of comfort as long as it's a healthy comfort food, right? it becomes a problem when our comfort foods are like microwave popcorn and Doritos or Chips Ahoy cookies. That's when it becomes an unhealthy comfort food. But I really think that it's good to be emotionally connected to your food. But health foods, of course.
Yeah, and we can find a lot of joy in the health foods when we find things that taste better than those other options that you mentioned. Yeah, definitely. And you have amazing recipes all over your website, joyoushealth.com, and 2 beautiful books, which people can buy at Nature's Fair. Am I right?
That's right. Yep. And so tomorrow I will be at KELOWNA, and then I'm in Kamloops, and then I'm in Langley. So
Exactly. So it's April 25th, KELOWNA, April 26th, Kamloops, and April 27th in Langley, 7 to 9 p.m.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And this is free. This is absolutely free for people to go to. Yeah, go into your local Nature's Fair store or go online and you can RSVP. And the really cool thing is that Nature's Fair gives everybody 15% off their purchases that night.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right? So you can go do your grocery shopping and get 15% off and get Joy's book, get all sorts of things.
Nice.
So I love the subtitle of your talk, Discover How Vibrant Your Body is Meant to Look and Feel. That's what people are going to discover in your talk and on your website and as they find out more about you.
Yeah, totally. I'm really excited. I hope to see lots of people there. And, if someone's watching this and they're not able to come, know that, you can connect with me elsewhere. I love to share through social media. I'm always creating new content for the blog 2 to 3 times a week. I have a new recipe or a video, and that's all free. So I'm always creating new information for people to share with others to help them, lead a more healthy and joyous life.
Oh, that is wonderful. And I'm going to be sure to put all the links to your Instagram and Facebook and website and all of it below this video. So everyone who's watching, make sure you click through to those and connect with Joy in all sorts of ways and get detoxing and get healthy. Joy, let's leave our audience with maybe one tip, that something they can do today to make their bodies feel healthier, and whatever you want to leave our audience with.
Oh, there's so many things. Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is just breathe. Take deep breaths. Taking a deep breath helps to oxygenate the millions of cells in your body and, makes you feel brighter and fresher and more energized. When you're lying in bed tonight, put your hand on your belly and really focus in on breathing with awareness. And when you're breathing with awareness, you have your hand on your belly, you should feel your hand should lift up. So, because your belly should expand and contract when you're taking deep belly breaths. Just 10 deep belly breaths calms your central nervous system like in a snap, so quickly. So just breathing. Breathing is a form of detoxification, and it's free, and you're doing it every second of every day, but how often do we think about it with awareness?
There you go, everyone. Just breathe, and it's free. I love that. Thank you so much, Joy. This has been really sweet to be able to talk to you, and I'm really excited about your events and about connecting with you, with our audience in the future, and you have so much to share.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure that you give this video a like and go check out Joy's stuff on the internet. Bye.
Bye.